Good afternoon, grade 8s and all the teachers. Welcome to this afternoon's lesson. I'm Miss Christelle Barnard and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about cartoons and especially visual and verbal clues. So let's start immediately and let's take a look at what do we want to achieve today. There are three things that I want you to remember today and what I want you to focus on whenever you see a cartoon or get a question on a cartoon in future. Now, the first one is identify visual clues. And that's why I have an eye icon there. Visual clues has to do with the pictures. So anything that you can see in a picture, for example, facial expressions, body language, symbols like, for example, if there is a Z, or if there's a light bulb, or if there's a little heart, and then little lines that indicate movement. Those are visual clues. We're going to take a look at examples in a minute. Then there is, for example, movement lines. There we see the ball, but we can see that the movement was like the way in which the ball has moved. Okay, and the second thing is that the second aspect you have to always look at is the verbal clues. Interpret and identify the verbal clues. Now, verbal come from the word verb, and verb has to do with words. So what does verbal clues refer to? It refers to speech and thought bubbles. You're going to look at the speech and the thought bubbles. You're going to look at the words that are inside the speech and the thought bubbles. You're going to look at the font styles. In other words, is it big letters? Are the letters thick? Are they printed very dark, bold? Are they big? Are they all in capital letters? You're going to look at the punctuation marks that are used. And then you're going to look at onomatopoeia. Now, that's a very big word, and I will be very impressed if you know what it means. Now, here is an example of onomatopoeia. Boom. Onomatopoeia are words that imitate, that copy a specific sound. So if there's an explosion, there will be boom, right? So that will be an example of onomatopoeia, and it's also a word. So that's why we say that it falls under verbal clues. And the last thing that you have to do after you've identified all the visual clues, everything in the picture, you looked at the facial expression, the body language, all the movement lines, then you looked at all the verbal clues, the words, the type of font, if it's capital letters, is it printed bold, punctuation. Then you have to put these things together. You have to link, connect the images and the words that you see in the cartoon. So combine what you see with what you read to explain the cartoon's humor, or irony or message. So it's just a way to say, if you link these things together, you will get an idea what the cartoonist is trying to say, what the message is, or what makes the cartoon funny. Right. Let's take a closer look at visual clues. Remember visual, what you see with the eye. So everything that has to do with pictures, and verbal clues, everything that has to do with verbs. So we're going to start with the visual clues, what you see. Now, remember that's drawings, pictures, pictorial elements. That are things like movement lines. It can be icons. It can be little symbols that they use. That's created by the cartoonist for a specific purpose. So the first one, facial expressions. So everything that you has to do that has to do with your face. So if you look at your friend who sits next to you and you want to show them with your face that you are angry, what will you do with your eyes? What will you do with your mouth? Right? So there's a facial expression. Your face shows that you are angry, or if you're happy. So that will be a facial expression. Then the next one is body language. Now that is the posture, what you do with your body. What do you do with your arms? What do you do with your hands? Are you leaning forward? Are you standing up straight? Is your shoulders slouching forward? So what are you doing with your body? So that's also verbal clues. Then the next one we said are action lines or movement lines. It might be little lines at a person's feet indicating that the person is moving, or It might be if a person is pointing their finger and there are little lines next to the finger, it might show that they are shaking their finger up and down. So those are movement lines. And then the last one are cartoon symbols, things like light bulbs that show an idea. If you've seen this in cartoons, if the one cartoon character hits the other one over the head, they bang them over the head, then there might be little stars around the one who has been hit on the head, around his head. That indicates pain. Or the Z that shows sleep, the character is sleeping. So those are the visual clues that you have to look out for in some examples. The next one, verbal clues, that remember, that's what we read, the words and the things that we read. So that is the written text, the words, and typography in the cartoon. Now that's just a very fancy word for the types of letters. It is for the if it's bold, if it is in capital letters, the punctuation marks that are used. So the first one, the speech and the thought bubbles. Is it direct words that the person is saying, or is it just what the person is thinking? Then font style, is it bold and capital letters? Sometimes if a person is shouting, the letters will be big and the letters will be dark. Punctuation, exclamation marks are used, question marks are used, ellipses are used. And then the last one, remember the big word, onomatopoeia. That is the words like bang, crash. If you gulp something down, you swallow something loudly, or you eat fast, then we say that sound is a gulping sound. So that's just a little bit more information on visual clues, what we see, and the verbal clues, what we read. And now if we look at take a closer look at reading visual clues. Now remember we said facial expressions. It's not enough to just say that the person is happy or the person looks sad. You have to describe the picture. What in the picture, what in the person's face, the character's face, shows you that the person is happy or shows you that the person is sad. Now, there are a few examples of facial expressions. The first one here in this corner, the first one on the top left, that's an easy one. The person's mouth is wide open. His eyes are open. It looks as if he's smiling. So that can be happy. But the next one, the lady next to him, her eyes are also wide open, but you will see the shape of her mouth has changed. So that can be either shows she's surprised or shocked. So her eyes are wide open, her mouth is in a round shape. Then if you look at this one in the bottom line, this third one, look at the person's eyebrows. They are turned inwards and down. So that shows that the person is angry. So those are a few examples of facial expressions. Then remember body language and posture. It's what the person is doing with their arms or with their body, and that also gives a message. So if you cross your arms, you fold your arms across your chest, it can be because you're angry, or it can be because you're defending yourself or you're protecting yourself. There are 2 or 3 examples. The one in the middle is slouching downwards, inwards. That might show that she's tired, that she's disappointed, that she's feeling weak, that she's feeling ill. The one with the arms outstretched in the air, that shows that he's happy, right, free. Then remember we said symbols and lines. Squiggly lines indicating movement, that a person is, there can be smell. If a person is cooking, if the character is cooking and there are little lines above the pot, that can show that there's a nice smell, a fragrant smell, or a delicious smell coming from the pot. Good. Remember decoding verbal clues, the words, what does it mean? We have to remember that we have different bubbles, speech bubbles and thought bubbles, and there I've given you the 3. The one with the jagged edges, it's spiky edges, it's usually when a person is screaming or when there's a loud noise. The solid circle, right, with the tail, the solid tail, is usually when the character is saying the words out loud. And the one with the little, that looks like a cloud, and there is little circles that will connect the words in the bubble to the character, that is a thought bubble, and it shows what the person is thinking. Now, font size and boldness. Remember, if it's large, bold, capital letters, it's usually showing that the person is angry, that the person is shouting, that it's loud. If it's tiny font signs, it can be that the person is whispering or afraid. Then also punctuation marks. As multiple exclamation marks can show shock, can show anger, very angry, outrage. And then when sometimes they use a question mark and an exclamation mark, that is, I cannot believe this. This is so surprising. I cannot believe it. It's disbelief, right? So that, or confusion. So that can be the meaning of those punctuation marks. And remember the sound words, plop, boom, snooze. It's the visual action. It makes it sound more real. In other words, that onomatopoeia word makes what you see, it makes it sound more real. And here's an example where we're going to use the 3 steps. Remember, the first one is we look at the visual clue, identify the visual clues. So let's quickly look at the visual clues. Here's a boy. Right, he's obviously at school because he's sitting in a classroom and he is wearing his school uniform. Now look at his facial expression. Look at his eyebrows, right? His eyes are half closed. He is slumped forward. He's leaning forward onto his desk. His head is resting in his arm. So those are all the visual clues. Describe what the character looks like and what action is taking place. Remember, don't just say he's tired. Don't just say he's tired. You have to describe what you see. And then the next one is, remember, the quote or identify the verbal clues. Now, the verbal clues, here we have a speech bubble, right, because of this tail. And then we see the words, I am so excited for this test. So it's big letters, they printed in bold, and there are 2 exclamation marks after test. So it sounds, if you just look at the words, that this boy is happy and excited. Now, but now if we have to connect the verbal clue, the looking tired, looking discouraged, looking unhappy, and then you look at the words that sounds excited, and you have to put that together, you can say that it's contrasting, and it sounds as if the boy is sarcastic when he says, oh, I'm so excited about this test. So that is how you use visual clues and how you use verbal clues. There's another example, the teacher pointing, look at her face, her eyebrows, her eyes wide open, her hand on a hip. The boy, the sweat drops around his face. He's also looking worried. Verbal clues, look at the jagged edged speech bubble, look at the 2 exclamation marks. And then also a question that could be asked in the exam, how does the reader know that the teacher is angry? Refer to 1 visual and 1 verbal clue, right? So you can say the teacher is pointing at the clock, she is frowning, her hand is on her hips. And then that is the visual clue. And the verbal clue is she is shouting, it's in a jagged speech bubble, there's 2 exclamation marks. Just remember, don't give vague answers. Be specific. Describe what you see. Don't ignore the punctuation marks. The punctuation marks are very important. Don't confuse speech and thought. What are the characters thinking? What are they saying out loud? And remember, describe the visual clue, describe the verbal clue, and put the 2 together. And that is identify visual clues, interpret the visual clues, and link the image words. I hope that these steps will help you when you see a cartoon the next time and you have to do an activity. Thank you for joining and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.